then, so much.
A lot.
Was your friend one of the people on the cover of the magazine, or was that the empty chair where she should have been?
She's still in the closet. But believe it or not, I actually did find her recently, about a week ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't actually spoken with her. I left a message with her sister, because I found her and I found her sister, but I can't contact her that easily. So I contacted her sister. Her sister said, I haven't spoken to her in a long time, and I don't even have her phone number, but I will tell her to call you. And she has not called me.
Did you find her on social media or just the web?
I did find her on social media, but her page is pretty much not visible unless you are a friend.
Right.
And I know she obviously doesn't want to come forward because she hasn't come forward, and this is all over the media. And secondly, I know her. I knew her. She was my best friend when I lived in Las Vegas, and I know she's not, her personality, at least then, was not the type who would come out and speak about this issue. So.
Well, our Gloria Allred, who is also a friend of the show's, she's been on a few times. She actually did our wedding that we had officiated at, and unfortunately it didn't last.
What?
It looks like they're separated.
I was hoping to hear that wasn't true.
I know. We so much wanted it to work.
My God.
Well.
We can learn so much from the LGBT community.
The curse of on-air weddings, I'm telling you.
That is not why I'm so sad.
But
Frank.
She's representing a couple of the women that, of course, are attempting to bring him to some sort of justice. We had mentioned that earlier off the air that there's been so much publicity with nothing happening. But now he is going to have to give a deposition.
Exactly.
So after the last deposition that I can't believe was actually released, and we saw bits of that where he gave some very incriminating...
Was that a leak?
I think that was a leak.
I think it was too. I think the court reporter
their sworn testimony.
Yep, I think it was a leak.
And they're sealed, supposedly.
It was very surprising, though, and that from his own mouth in the deposition changed a lot of people's minds who had been supporting him for a very long time up until then. One of those being Whoopi Goldberg, who for a long time, speaking of The View, had been supporting, and then when he, with his own words, came out, it was very hard for her to continue to support.
She just wanted confirmation. Yeah.
Well, and it's got to be hard because you're also working on the same panel. Right across from you is, little Raven Simone, who, was Cosby's daughter on the show and owes her seat that she's sitting in to Mr. Cosby.
Well, she's already said, don't ask me anything about it because I don't want to be involved.
And I can't blame her. I can't blame her. She certainly, she is somebody
that really mad about that.
Yeah, and you put her in a very awkward position because, everybody wants a comment. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And it's hard when it's somebody that is so very close to you, without anything officially being done. I mean, if he's charged, that's one thing. Then, maybe you need to come out and make a comment or say something. But other than that, I mean, look what happened with Collins. Stephen Collins, with his wife and the divorce, and suddenly that's out, which again was a very private thing, and
So Charlotte, do you think that this public hanging is worse for Bill Cosby and career homicide, I guess you could call it, or suicide? Do you think this is worse than having him pay an actual civil penalty if this had come out earlier?
Absolutely. I think this has completely destroyed his legacy. It's destroyed everything for him. And I mean, the only saving grace is that he's fairly elderly now, and at least he was able to reap the benefits throughout his life. But
it's still so sad that at that late stage in his life, that now when he dies, there is now that asterisk. There is now that the headline's going to be a lot different than it was before.
Exactly. And I feel bad for the cast members and other people associated with that TV show who are now not going to get residuals. That show is now tarnished forever. I feel bad for the other people because it's not their fault that all of this happened.
That was the same thing with Seventh Heaven with Stephen Collins, where suddenly one cast member, and now they have to pull the show because and all the other people suddenly they're not getting that check anymore.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
Very sad.
We have to think about our actions and how they will ripple out, because they certainly do every time.
Well, yeah, and they
do come back to haunt you.
But you also fought a good fight, and you put somebody behind bars.
Well, not yet, but in about
okay.
3 weeks.
Really? You mean the guy with the website?
Yeah, the sentencing is in about 3 weeks for Hunter Moore, and then and the
Oh.
hacker has already done a plea deal, so he's pled guilty, and so his sentencing is in November. But he was particularly bizarre because after he was already under investigation by the FBI, he continued to hack for some odd reason. And so what happened is Kamala Harris's office got involved with investigating him for the post FBI hacking, and they brought separate charges against him.
Oh, geez.
So now he's going to have an extra 2 years in prison tacked onto whatever he gets from the federal charges.
So he continued to hack knowing the FBI was on his trail?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a sick man.
It's very, very odd.
That's
I
a
mean,
sickness.
yeah,
That's a
he
disease.
would say that he had a compulsion and
Yeah.
that that's
Yeah.
what he would say.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Well, now you have a book out.
I do. It's called Rebel in High Heels. And actually, we have a book signing and
Yes, you
reading
do. Yes.
this Tuesday night at Book Soup at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have you
And
done one yet? Is this your first?
This is my first one for this book.
Oh,
yes.
that's going to be exciting.
Now, wait a minute. The last time you were here, weren't you saying, because I believe Frank said, is there a book forthcoming? And you said, well, it's something I've been working on for several years, and people have said that I should write a book, but I don't know, it's slow coming, and then all that. Did you say that? Or is it
I
just my
probably did
imagination?
because that was probably before everything happened with getting it put together. But I had already been working on a book. Yes, that's true,
Okay,
for several
okay.
years.
Congratulations.
So thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to pick your brain. I'm decided to write my book finally after being prodded, for many, many years, and so I take great encouragement and mentoring or seeing mentors like yourself who have taken what they've done and been able to put it down, and it certainly is fascinating. The stories are incredible. You were also with Tom Jones.
Yes, I came out with that relationship for the first time in the book.
Yep.
So, and we dated for 3 years, and that was
What's new, pussycat?
it was a big deal to me when I was.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, the reason why it's an interesting story is because it's not something I just fell into. It's actually something I kind of pursued, and I am very much into pursuing one's dreams, whatever they may be. And I am listed as the 4th most notorious party crasher in the world, I'm proud to say.
Oh, well, we need to hang out with you.
I was going for the Nobel Peace Prize, and then I decided, hey, I can be a party crasher.
That's much more fun, and the food's better.
So Bill Murray is number 6. Queen Elizabeth is number 14. Serena Williams and Lady Gaga are known for their party crashing, but they didn't quite make the list. So
Oh, wow. So what's what give me a couple of what top 2 parties that you've been to?
well, I've crashed Secret Service 4 times.
Oh my, okay.
And the last time was interesting. It was at George Clooney's estate when he had a fundraiser, a $40,000 per person fundraiser for President Obama, which of course some of us can't afford $40,000 to go
That's
to
just
an
I
event.
ludicrous.
remember the helicopters that day.
Yep.
And so they had closed off all the streets around Clooney's estate. And I got there kind of late. But what happened was they had a barrier that they temporarily removed, the barrier. And I just barreled up the hill.
You sneaked across the border, girl.
I did. I sneaked across the border.
On foot?
No, in my car.
In your car.
And
In
so
her high heels.
And I got flagged down by security, by Secret Service,
Right.
and they said, you have to turn around and go back down the hill. And I had this bag from Rite Aid on my passenger seat, which was filled with ponytail holders. And I said, oh, well, I have an emergency pharmaceutical delivery for Mr. G. Clooney. I pretended to be reading a piece of paper. And the security guard didn't know what to do, and he just goes, okay, I guess you can go up. So I drove up. I had to
dear
park in the
God.
driveway because there was nowhere to park. I mean, there were all these catering trucks and stuff.
She parks in the freaking driveway.
I'm here.
So I got to attend.
Oh
so that
my
was one of them.
God.
And then I went to, the time before that, they had a fundraiser at Walt Disney Hall for John Kerry. And this was $25,000 per person. And essentially what I did is I already went through the metal detector. And by the way, I always had to go through a metal detector. I never ever was, so I
Right.
felt like Secret Service always did their job.
Right.
It's not like I could have
Right.
gotten in there with a gun or a knife. So I went through the metal detector, and then basically what I did is I just jumped in the group of these wealthy donors and just kind of finagled through. And Secret Service was yelling at me, going, "Wait, come back here! I didn't see your ticket." And I just pretended that I didn't hear them, and I zoomed in.
Oh my God.
And then to get backstage, one of the tricks is you just kind of jump next to a celebrity as they're heading
Oh,
to
yeah.
the VIP room, and you just strike up a conversation, become their
Yeah.
best friend really fast, and then security thinks you're with them. And so Jamie Foxx's fiance was on her way back to this VIP green room, and I just started talking to her, and then security said, "The two of you come with me," and I went in, and everybody was there. I mean, it was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I mean, everybody. You know, Ben Stiller and Ben Affleck, and I mean, you name it, everybody was there. So Barbara Streisand. It was like it was all VIP.
Well, the
I'll
trick
just be
is
an actor.
Well, no, the trick is, we went to years and years ago, and I know how the party crashing worked because we actually were an accessory to a party crashing, unbeknownst to us. Although I knew it was happening at the time, and that was I was with my friend Guy and Guy Chaddock, who's an older gentleman, and we were on our way to an event at the Friars Club in Beverly Hills, and it was a big star-studded event. I don't remember what it was, but it was something. All the celebrities were there, and I was driving the Rolls Royce. And I pull up in the Rolls Royce, and I get out, and I, open the door, get Guy out, and the two of us,
Excuse me, sir. Would you have any grape for Paul
Oh yeah,
Dijon?
that's my other story. I've done that. But I get out of the car, and as I'm getting the ticket or whatever, and Guy's getting out with the cane and walking, this very lovely dressed woman basically comes up, grabs his arm, like, "Oh, how nice to see you! It's so good," and basically walks in with us with her arm around him. Totally had no idea who she was. I knew that we didn't know who she was, and apparently the people there knew who she was, and were trying to keep her out. But she now had her arm draped around, multi-millionaire Guy Chaddock, and of course they don't want to offend him because maybe he does know her.
Exactly.
See, white people
but
can get
somebody
away with
came
that.
Well, somebody came up to me and says, "Do you know Edie?" And I'm like, "Edie who?" And they're like, "Edie so," but she was an actress who was just hard on her luck and just was trying to crash the event.
Right.
And I says, "No, I have no idea." She says, "Well, she's hanging. That's the one hanging on to your friend Guy." And I'm like, "Oh no. We got out of the car and she gleamed onto him immediately."
Right.
No. And she goes, "Okay, we're going to ask her to leave." I said, "Oh, that's fine. No, she's not our guest. Trust me. We have no idea who she is." So they ended up getting
See,
rid
a
of her.
250-pound black woman could not get away with that.
Oh my God.
I had a friend who was afraid of water, and this is extremely bizarre. So he never took showers. He smelled so bad, and he wore purple velvet tuxes, and he was very heavy, probably, I don't know how much,
Oh,
300
God.
pounds
He
or
was
whatever.
afraid of water?
And he got into every event. He knew every celebrity. He party crashed like crazy. And I always said if he could do it, anybody could do
Is he
it.
still alive?
He's not. His name,
When
his
did
name
he-
was Larry Leverett was his name.
When did he pass away?
Probably like 10 years ago, maybe.
Was he really, really old when he passed away?
He wasn't probably that old. He might have been 60 something.
Yeah,
or
did he have
70
white
something.
hair?
I didn't see him for many years before he died, so I don't know if he had white hair, but he did not have it when I
Did
knew
he
him.
shop at Albertsons?
No, I think I might have met him.
Yeah.
I think I might have met
He
him.
went to a lot of
He
events.
crashed one of your events.
It wasn't my event.
Yeah, I mean, I met him
I
by
was there
crashing. He crashed and I crashed, and that's how I met him. But
Do you-
I had a similar event when I went to the Grammys one time. I did a similar thing. Like what I did was I hitched a ride in a limo, and all these limos were slowly moving towards the red carpet and letting the VIPs out to go into the door. And I hitched a ride, pretending that my feet hurt, and this guy let me into the car, and for some reason he said he wasn't getting out. I have no idea why he wasn't getting out. So I got out of this limo by myself. I waltzed up the red carpet. All these fans are like screaming and taking pictures, and of course I'm a complete nobody, but I'm pretending that I'm
Right.
somebody.
Oh, right.
And then I get to the door, and then he says, "Where's your ticket?" The guard does. And I said, "Oh, my agent has it." "Oh, I'm so sorry. What do I do?" And the guard didn't know what to do because I already came all the way down this red carpet, and everybody
Wasn't
taking
gonna
my
send you
picture.
back.
So guess what? I got to go to the Grammys.
That's funny. Oh my God. Now, do you still keep in touch with Tom?
I haven't seen him for about 4 years.
Yeah.
So, and I, and some of the press when I came forward with this story in my book, and there's a lot about the relationship in the
Right,
book.
right.
Because people find that interesting. So
Yeah.
I did put a lot in there. And some of the press were not exactly accurate in their reporting, unfortunately. So
Right.
I did send an email over and said, "I truly apologize. I have no idea. I did not say any of these things."
Yeah.
And I went through like point by point the things that I did and didn't say. So,
Yeah.
He's coming out with his own memoir
Yeah.
soon too.
Yeah, that part of my book, I had mentioned to you, I used to live with Shaka Khan, who is, of course, now, Shaka is doing Dancing with the Stars. Did you know that?
No, I did
Yes,
not.
she's on this season of Dancing with the Stars, so she's been getting a lot of press and
Baby,
everything.
baby, when I dance
And-
with you,
Well,
I get a
well, I think it's very
warm
funny
feeling inside.
considering she. I mean, God bless. She's 62 years old, and I know that she's not a dancer. So I give her all the credit in the world. I mean, I got to be kind of. I still keep in touch with her. As a matter of fact, I sent her a text saying congratulations, and she thanked me.
That's great.
So we.
How did you meet?
We met at a very
Did you party
interesting-
crash?
It'll be in the book. You'll have to read the book.
only if it were that innocent.
Yeah. Actually, I met at a drug deal with her.
I told you.
Are you serious?
Yes, I met at a drug deal. I had no idea who she was.
That'd be the great title for your memoir. I met Shaka at a drug deal.
Had no idea. Well, no, originally for years I was going to call it Shaka Khan.
I think that's great.
That's an
You can
inside
do that.
joke. Inside joke. But we met.
Shaka
There were two
Khan.
girlfriends of hers that had supplied her with drugs, and I had met these two girls. I had never even done drugs before. I mean, and it was like the first time I had met them. And no. I mean, it was really the first time I'd like dipped in the pond of that world. And she was
Shaka
coming
Khan.
by to pick up something, and they knew that she liked her type of guys were white Jewish guys, and I happened to be a white Jewish guy.
And she has held true to that.
And she has held
over
true
the
to that.
years.
Yes, she has held true to that. So they wanted me to be the guy that was going to do the deal. And so when she got there, I opened up the drawer, and it was kind of love at first sight for both of us. It was just
Wow.
weird. It was just one of those moments. And I didn't know who she was. If I had seen her on the street, I wouldn't have known who she was. So
Right.
I wasn't a fan.
Right.
So when we started talking music, everything, I really didn't know what her music was. I mean, I really didn't know her, and that's why we got along so well, because I wasn't like, oh my God, it's Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan.
Tell her about the Rufus thing.
It was Shaka Khan and Rufus. Well, first there were a couple of things. One was I told her that the only song I really knew was the Shaka Khan song, and she's like, "What's the Shaka Khan?" I said, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan." She goes, "Oh, I Feel for You." I says, "Well, thank you, but no, the Shaka Khan song." She goes, "No, it's called I Feel for You." I thought she was saying she felt for me. I was like, "No, it's the
Such
Shaka
a
Khan
dweeb.
song."
You're such
I know,
a dweeb.
I know. And so she said, "No, it's I Feel for You," and she said, played it, and I said, "Oh," I said, "Well, that explains it, because after they said your name like 5 times, I had already changed the station. I never got to the I Feel for You part." So that was it.
Oh, that's really great.
I know. And then it was the Rufus part. Was it was Shaka Khan and Rufus, and I'm like, so were you and Rufus like an item? Did you date him? I mean, was he like your boyfriend? And she's like, Rufus was a group. So anyway, Charlotte, time goes by so fast. We are at the end of our show already. You are out there. We appreciate you coming in. Your book, you're going to be at Book Soup this Tuesday, 7:00.
That's it.
Check it out. What was it? A Rebel in High Heels?
Rebel in High Heels.
Rebel in High
Right.
Heels. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Most of our guests bring a book for us, but
sorry,
it's
I
all right.
should have.
Just future references, in
Next
case you want to
time.
remember that, But and you're also on Facebook. You're on
Twitter. At Charlotte Laws is on Twitter.
and all that. You can Google, of course, Charlotte Laws, and you will have all the different articles. Great reads. I'm looking forward to reading your book. Thank you so much, Miss Yarborough.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Glad you could make it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And everybody have a good week. We will see you next week here
Try
on
to
Friend
love
Talk.
each other.
Absolutely. Life is short. It is.
Yeah.
There we go.
You're listening to Frank Talk with Frank Sheftel and co-host Kim Yarbrough right here on LA Talk Radio.